I decided to experiment and create a YouTube style system just within SharePoint. The crazy thing is it works great, and it even has features that YouTube doesn't even have. Let's go into how this thing works, how you can create this for yourself, and then some variations that you could go with. So this is what the interface looks like. It's definitely based on Stream, as you would have already guessed, but we've got some custom web parts in here as well, so not all of this is out of the box. First, you notice that all these different videos have custom thumbnails. This is also through Stream. At the top, I've got a channel spotlight because I've got channels in this system. So using this, you could highlight a particular channel for a while and then switch it to another channel to raise awareness. You'll see that there's a search interface here. You could enter in search terms and find videos. And along the right, you'll see the most recent videos as well as the trending videos. Let's jump into edit mode and see what these things are using. So I'm using a section to set up the channel spotlight area. A simple call to action button will take you to the particular channel. And then highlighted content is the web part that I'm using a lot throughout this solution. And in this case, the channel being spotlighted is the Contoso TV training channel. So I'm going to be showing all the videos from that particular channel. Moving over to the right, the most recent videos is also using the highlighted content web part. This time we're going to be looking at all the videos across the hub because this is set up as a hub and all of the channels are connected sites to this particular hub. And where these start to shine is with the sorting options you've got on here. So this is sorted by most recent, but then down on the trending videos, there's a view for trending. So this comes in really handy to set up a web part like this. Moving on to the search interface, which is the meat and potatoes of this whole system. We're using PnP Modern Search. So I've got a search box here just to collect the search term. And then we're using the search results web part here to display all of the results. You'll see here that we've got the input query text with wildcards so that it'll search within titles and other metadata. We're restricting it to a particular content type ID because we are using content type publishing so that all of these connected sites can all use the same content type. That helps us find all of this content much easier. Lastly, we're setting the department ID to the hub ID just to make sure that this searches only within this hub network. We're using a custom template on these search results as well. I'll make this available to download if you want to try this out yourself. Saving this and going back into the view mode, you'll also see links across the top to the newest videos and the trending videos. And all I did for these pages is grab these see all links here from the web parts that just came out of the box. So you could grab this and add this to the menu and you can get that. Lastly, we've got a channels tab that will list all the channels in this interface so that users can quickly go to a particular channel, maybe human resources or something like that. As you see, I've only got one additional channel set up here. So if we go to this, you'll see how this is set up. So we don't have the search interface on the channel screen, but depending on how many videos that channel has, you may want to add that in here. I'm showing the most recent videos at the top and then all of the videos. And on the right, you'll see I've got a playlist here, which is one of the new features that Stream has. To get this playlist, it's the list web part and the view is playlist. And I'll show you how to get that playlist created. Now, going back to the main Contoso TV portal, there's definitely room for improvement here. There's a lot of options that you could do. If you don't want the channel spotlight, you can get rid of it. Although it could be very beneficial if, like during open enrollment, you're highlighting the HR channel with videos on how to complete the open enrollment or other major things that are happening. Maybe there's a company-wide meeting and you want to highlight a particular channel that houses that video. So very simple system in the grand scheme of things, very powerful. I see a lot of ways to use this and different solutions, but let's start from scratch and create this and see how this all is put together. First, we're going to be going into the SharePoint Admin Center and looking at the content type. So we're here in the Admin Center. Now this step isn't necessarily required, but I still highly recommend creating a content type for all of the videos that you're going to be hosting. After all, you may not want videos in other places to show up. You could have videos on this portal that just don't need to show up. So here's what I've done for this basic content type. I've just created a bare bones Contoso video content type based off of document and have done nothing else with it other than hit the publish button so it's available to all the sites. That's it. The other fields that we're going to be using are all actually baked into the Stream side of things, and that's not something that's stored inside the content type. Let's create some sites and start building this from scratch. Now, I went with the black look on my original site because I'm many things, but a designer I am not. So it probably looks hideous. Let's change the look of that. So we'll go down to change the look and we'll put in something different. Hey, it's not technically black. Okay, next we need to be going into site settings and getting our library set up. Now, I use one video library. You could definitely use multiple libraries on any of these sites if you want to break out things like that. I mentioned there's variations. This is really one of them. You don't have to have channels. You could use one site to do everything and either house all of your videos in a single library or have multiple libraries. It will all work fine. I'm going to delete the document library and I'm going to create a new one. So the videos library is going to house our videos. We're going to go into library settings and apply our content type. So we go into advanced settings to enable content type management. And we add the new content type. And this is using content type publishing like I mentioned before. If you're not familiar with that, I've got a video in my content type playlist that covers publishing. And then we'll delete the original content type document since we don't need this. And that's all done. Let's drop some videos into this. Okay, the videos are uploaded. What we can do now is open these up and we can set our custom thumbnails, titles, any other information we want to add. So let's click on the first name and we jump into stream. Here you'll see video settings and this is where you can do all those things like custom thumbnails. So let me start populating these videos with some details. And notice, similar to YouTube, you can do captions. You could also do chapters. Comments are also a neat feature. Obviously, YouTube has them and y'all interact with me all the time, but you could turn those off if you don't need the comment feature. Okay, we've got our custom thumbnails added. Now on to the next step. Since we're going to be using PnP Modern Search, I don't have that tenant deployed, so let's go into site contents and add that set of web parts. All right, that's added. Let's start getting the homepage set up. First, we're going to delete all of this stuff. First, let's get our sidebar set up and we can add in our highlighted content. So for our filter, we're going to pick all sites in the hub, and for the type, we're going to pick videos. The default sort is most recent. That's what we want as our top one, so that'll be fine. Now, this solution is not using the audience targeting, but this is definitely an option for you if you've already got audience targeting used elsewhere. Now we'll add our trending videos. And we'll use the same filters. And for the sort by, we're going to be going by trending. Now, search is still indexing, so when we republish, we're probably not going to see them just yet. Oh, I just had to refresh the page one time. Everything's showing up there now, so that's looking good. So let's move on to the PnP search interface. Now, we don't need to change anything with the search box, but the search results definitely will need some stuff. We'll pick SharePoint Search. And the first thing I always do is I hook this up to the search box. And then we'll set a default value of asterisk, so it'll pull all videos by default. Now we'll go back and set our query, and we'll use the same query we had on our last one. So this will pull in the search box query with asterisks on each side, so we don't have to have an exact match. We'll set the content type to our new Contoso video content type, and then we'll set the department ID to the hub. But this is actually the hub ID of our old site. So here's how to find the hub ID of your new site. Let's republish this. And we're going to go into the developer tools and refresh the page. Because since our highlighted content web part is already set to look at only the hub, we could look at that query to get our hub ID. And it's much easier for me to do this than other methods. So here is the highlighted content web parts query, and we can see here there's the department ID field. So I can copy this, go into Notepad, paste it, and then just grab this whole string and copy it. Now we can close Notepad and Developer Tools, and we can edit our query to have that. And it looks like we lost our other query, so let me paste that back in. There, so we're filtering on 3 different things: the search box query, the content type, and the department ID. Since we have no Boolean ors in this expression, all 3 are going to be applied at the same time. So let's apply this, and it looks like that works because we've got our 4 videos that we've just uploaded, but it's got the uploader at the bottom of these cards. I really don't like that, so let's get rid of that. So back on page 1 of our web part properties, we can click on the layout slots, and where it has the author slot maps to the author managed property, we can click on X to get rid of that. When we click save, it's gone. Now this is a very simple modification to this. You could get as custom as you would like on here, and you could do a lot more fancy things, but this is what I did on that original site that you saw. The next thing we need to change is this default preview window is a little bit short. We're cutting off the YouTube thumbnails that I had, so let's increase the size of that. So for that, we're going to go over to page 2 and edit our results template. And we're going to paste in some CSS to increase the size of those images. And now that's done. To get a copy of this template and configuration that I've used on the search results web part, check the description for a link. Now let's save this and see what it looks like. Alright, we are very, very close. The next thing we need to do is we want to add the channel spotlight section. For that, let's get the channel actually set up. We're just adding the videos library the same way we did the other site. And we'll drop some videos in here and get them configured. So all that's done. Next, let's create the playlist to house these videos. You can find this by clicking New and then List, and you'll see Playlist as an option. And then we'll add in our videos. Alright, that's done. Speaking of PnP, we need to add that to this site as well. Alright, now we can go configure our homepage on the channel. First, let's add in that playlist. Now we'll add our PnP web parts. And for the query template, we're going to be specifying the content type and the path to this particular site, because this doesn't need to show everything in the hub. It just needs to show this one channel's videos. We'll delete that author slot again on this. And then we'll apply our custom CSS to increase the size of the thumbnails. And since this is going to be the most recent videos, we need to change the sort order. And then we need to make our all videos web part right below this. So I'm just going to hit the copy button. We'll call this recent videos, and the next one will be all videos. So we'll set a limit of 3 videos on this one. And then for all videos, we're going to make sure we show everything, which is the default. And let's republish and see how this looks. So this looks great. The last thing we need to do is clean up the menu. So we'll delete these options. And this channel is done. Let's go back up to our hub and finish out this build. And since we just cleaned up the menu on the channel, let's clean up the menu up here on the hub. And we need to add in our new items. So we'll grab the link for most recent videos. And the same with trending. Oh, and we need to add our channel page as well. So let's add a new page for our channel listing. And notice how it'll default to only showing 8 sites. We could set this to 99. And if you've created more than 99 sites for this thing, you probably ought to revisit the architecture. Oh, and let's turn off commenting as well. So let's add that new channels page. And we just have our channel spotlight to do. So we'll add a new section at the top. And we'll add in some text. And we'll grab the link from our channel to use in the call to action button. And insert an image. Next, we're adding the highlighted content web part here. And instead of all sites in the hub, we're going to want to make sure we pick one site. And then for the type, of course, we're going with videos. And then republish. And everything is finished. Let's test this out and make sure it will work correctly. Yep, searching looks like it's working. And if we click on one of these videos to see how it looks, we're taken straight into Stream on SharePoint. And we've even got automatic transcriptions here, which is very cool. So fairly simple process to build this thing out. There's not too many moving pieces, but it looks great and it can provide a lot of value in your organization. Let me know if you try this thing out, what your ideas are for improvement, because I'm open to anything. There's a lot of ways you can improve on this, and especially since Microsoft's coming out with new Stream web parts, I expect to iterate over this and kind of improve this and possibly make some more videos showing the newer versions. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And if you're looking for that PnP Modern Search series, you can click up into this corner where I've got the link to the first video.